Alright, so before the Game Boy Color, well, no, scratch that. After the Game Boy Color, before the SP, we had the Game Boy Advance. Pretty small box, came in a lot of nice colors. But did you know there was a ginormous, comically large e-reader box? Pretty huge. And I'm just gonna show you what comes inside of it and where you can get yours. This is your Game Boy Advance e-reader box.
The game is inside the cards. New e-reader for Game Boy Advance. Slide the cards to play some of your favorite games. E-reader comes with a classic game and a sample pack. More games sold separately. Rated E for everyone.
This is a bundle that came with the e-reader itself, 2 card packs, and the Game Boy Advance. Some manuals, etc. But this box was pretty exclusive back in the day in 2002 to 2003 when it was released. It was a little experiment that Nintendo was trying to do with cards. It's pretty much pre-Amiibo. I know a lot of others have mentioned that, like online and on forums and so on and so forth. But this pretty much gave you little mini games that you can play on your e-reader to your Game Boy Advance, or download exclusive items, give you exclusive events that you were able to attend on your Game Boy Advance. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was pretty simple, which was pretty freaking awesome. I spent a lot of time on that. Yep, let's get started. So first thing that was included was this Game Boy Advance Glacier. I believe it came in 2 colors. There was an indigo bundle and a glacier bundle. But this one that I received in the mail was the Glacier. And for its box contents, everything is in great shape. The box itself, the inserts, everything. This is what was included right here, which is what I mentioned before. Most Game Boys come with your registration card. Pretty nice. I believe when you open it, gives you all your details. Register your Game Boy Advance, the info you gotta fill in, and then you'll just send it off. Pretty neat. Little small details that I like, that if you're a inbox completionist, this is what you'd want to get to make sure everything's in the box together. But this is your Game Boy Advance instruction booklet. This is your precaution booklet. Make sure it focuses. Like I mentioned, every Game Boy console comes with that. This has a Game Boy Player ad, which is pretty nice. I remember back then using one of these all the time. I used to have the Jirachi bonus disc, but I have it now. But like previously on my old copy, I used to pretty much download 1,000 of those Pokemon and then send them to buddies and trade them off and whatever, which was pretty neat. Little hustler. And yeah, this is the Nintendo Power insert. Pretty cool. Never seen those headphones in person, but those look real nice. Those would be pretty cool to have. Oh yeah, and then in case y'all didn't know, there are not super, but Nintendo Power Advance magazines. I think there's like 5 of them or something. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but those are pretty cool to have. What was also included was the Game Boy Advance Glacier. This one was super clean, hardly any micro scratching on the screen. But it is very nice. Has all your stickers, your serial number, everything. Cool thing about this one is it's not yellowed. I know a lot of these get yellowed and brittle and get real ugly over time. This one I actually had to buy separately, so I can complete the box, because whenever I originally bought the bundle, it only included the e-reader bundle, box itself, the Glacier box, all the inserts and manuals, and the blister pack, which I will show you next. Moved everything over a little bit, but this is your e-reader itself. This one came in a really nice blister pack whenever it was originally sold in stores. And I like these bundles because you actually get this special little sticker that it says part of the AGBSMBP1 bundle, which I guess is just code for, well, I'm sure that's like super abbreviated for the bundle itself, which is pretty nice. But this was included with all the manuals. The only things I had to buy separately was the booster packs, which were pretty cheap. I got lucky on eBay. and so I can complete this item in itself. But it has all the cards, very clean, and I will show you what cards they are also. I took the liberty of taking all the items out already, because this package is already open, which is pretty nice. But I like that because it was sliced right at the bottom to where it's not like so cut up like where people used to just like chop scissors over, and obviously over time it gets all yellow and brittle and starts breaking apart. But this one was actually kept in really great shape, which I love. Put that there. But what was included in that was this e-reader itself. This one I found separately in a bundle back, I think a few years ago, with separate e-reader cards that were sealed for about 15 bucks at a local show that was down the road, which was pretty nice. But since I already had it and I found these boxes online all in one bundle, I was like, oh, I might as well just try to complete it. And then yeah, had that already, and it's the matching one that's actually supposed to go in there. I believe there's another color, but this just goes on the back of the Game Boy Advance. And oh yeah, and before I forget, that's where you slide your card right there, which will probably destroy your card if it wasn't cleaned properly or you kept it dirty. These were your 2 packs that came with e-reader bundle. Pretty neat. You can find these sealed online and stuff, but they're not so much. Probably like 10-15 bucks, or sealed at least would be like, I would say 30 plus, depending on if you get lucky or not. But these are opened, so I can show you the cards. And then your little insert, that it's like a back placeholder for the cards itself. That's not an original one. I made that myself, but I sized it to where how it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to fold, and then how it's supposed to sit in the back of it, which is pretty neat. But what comes in the e-reader pack 1, which is the sample pack, it was about 5 cards. It is a Machop e-reader card. So these are your little code indicators where you slide on the e-reader itself. Pretty cool. This is your Machoke. Mr. Machoke. Machamp. They're always facing some angle. And then this Animal Crossing card, which I think was pretty cool. I never used this card when I was younger. But I believe if you had Animal Crossing on GameCube, if you swiped it, you got probably free items, or you got an exclusive little content that you were able to get in the game. The last card included in the sample pack is this e-reader Game & Watch collection card. I believe this is Manhole, which is pretty awesome. Little fun game way back in the day. But yeah, close the open manhole so no one falls in. If someone falls in, it is considered a miss. Miss 3 times and the game's over. Gives you your controls, your little swiper for the e-reader, and then yeah, you'd be able to play this on your Game Boy Advance. Crazy. Little card allows you to play a game, which is weird and interesting, but I'm gonna show you that after I show you the last of these cards right here. Last pack. This is Donkey Kong Jr. pack. Came with Donkey Kong Jr. You were able to play on your Game Boy Advance by swiping the card. Just pretty interesting. But that's pretty much it with these cards. Pretty simple. Fun if you're into this concept. I know there wasn't a lot of fans of this. Card collectors were not definitely into this much as you thought they were. More so probably just for the packs. But as far as using them, no. Only the gamers actually pop them open and swipe them. But that is the example of the cards. And last item that was included in the box was this e-reader pamphlet. Can't forget about this. This pretty much just told you what you can do with the e-reader itself, how to connect it, pretty much offers other options of cards. Yep, the Game & Watch. Pretty neat. I like that. Scuba diver, Mario. Wish it was Luigi. I'm more of a Luigi fan. Most of my friends know that, but now you guys know. Battle e-card. Yep, so this was on Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, which was pretty cool. I never got those cards though, those specific ones. I believe I remember seeing them, and I wish I did have them. I did have these 2 box packs. I love these EX Ruby and Sapphire boxes. They are so cool. I missed all those cards. Ooh, Dragon Pack. Fire up your game with new Dragon type Pokemon and Dragon attacks. Rayquaza, so OP. And Latios and Latias. All the different packs that you were able to buy. And then the Mario Party. And then the more Animal Crossing packs that you were able to get. I believe you were able to use these on the Mario Party games and Animal Crossing on GameCube. Oh yeah, just to flip back a page, these were just NES games that you were able to play on the Game Boy Advance. Kind of like before the 3DS and DS were able to let you download those games, except this was a time where you can just swipe the card. Okay, I already put the batteries inside. I'm not going to show you how to put batteries in a Game Boy Advance, but you already know, for those who played a Game Boy Advance. But you're going to insert the e-reader, which will be a little tricky sometimes. Yeah, this way. Don't be like me, put it backwards. It's my first time putting one in years. Make sure it's good, make sure it's in. All right, let's test it. Okay, how to put it in again? You know, never works the first time, but put it back in if obviously Nintendo doesn't show up. Let it load up. Oh yeah, that's my jam. That's my game jam right there.
Scan that code.
Scan card, let's go. Okay, start.
Scan that.
Oh yeah, so you'll click scan. Then you'll put the card on top.
Read error.
Okay.
Read error.
No. Okay, this took me a minute because I was trying to figure out why it wasn't scanning. So here I'm gonna turn it back on just to show you. Then you'll swipe your card real slowly. We'll see if I get it first try on this one. Yep, there it is. I forgot how annoying these can be. Come on. I'm going brain dead here. There it is.
Already scanned.
What the f? Let's go again. All right. I do remember that being so annoying. And when I was younger, I used to get so mad. I'd be like, oh my god, why isn't it working? Because, you know, you're young, like, but you're supposed to go slow and steady. Which now I've learned nothing. Oops. Wasn't paying attention. Let's go. Pretty much be the manhole. How'd y'all play these games back in the day? Okay. But that's an example of how to swipe your card to play your e-reader games on the e-reader. And various other cards that you can swipe. But yeah. Oh, I'll actually do the Animal Crossing one too. There it is. I like this one. This one's pretty neat. Go to the ATM at your post office in your Animal Crossing town to scan this card. You can also send the password below to any animal in your town. Whichever way you choose, something special awaits. Okay, I'm not gonna give you the code. But yeah, that is a little example of how to use the e-reader with your Game Boy Advance. How to swipe the cards, no matter how annoying this piece of shit is. Excuse my language, people. But yeah, and everything that's included. But this bundle, I paid $333 by completing everything together. Some would say you paid a little much, but I mean, it's either that or you pay like over $500 for a bundle, or if you get lucky, you can find it for way cheaper. I already took the liberty of putting everything back together in the box, but I'd say this is an awesome bundle still. Though the e-reader is kind of janky, as most people remember, but it is a great item to have. Trying to stretch it. I like how you have the serial number right there, just like any other Game Boy Advance box. It's so freaking big.
Why are you sleeping? Hurry!
And don't leave your batteries in here. They will corrode and you will mess up your Game Boy Advance. But I'm gonna put it up. Time to put it back
where you belong. I'm just glad that last Game Boy came in the mail so I can put it together. Alright, you stay there.
Forever. Sweet dreams.